This all started with a hole in the ground that was covered by 2 bricks that the inspector didn't touch.
The inspectors basically said, oh, there was something there, so we couldn't see it. It's not our problem.
That beam was supposed to support this house. The fact that I could take that out with my hand is nuts.
Not the way to do a window, folks.
We have mold in the front of the house. We have mold in the side of the house. The basement has a lot of mold.
Like, I feel like we really got duped on this house, and it's just...
Fred and Sarah bought their very first home downtown in a nice neighborhood. Now, something different. The seller had a pre-arranged home inspection to the buyer, something I don't see too often. I like that. However, at 100, 120 years old, something could be wrong. Well, obviously, something is wrong, and I'm gonna make it right.
The neighborhood was the first thing. We just happened to be walking through one day. Love the neighborhood.
It doesn't feel like you're downtown. You know, you see the beautiful big trees, you see young children playing, you see people walking their dogs. It definitely felt like an area where you'd want to grow and where you'd want to start a family.
This was one of the sort of unmodernized houses, so we thought, well, this is a great place for us to start and make it our own.
I loved that there was a little backyard, and there's area for us to sit outside and enjoy the outdoor weather. You know, we have a great size bedroom, which was, you know, important for me. I didn't want to feel cramped moving from a condo. And we have a great the main bathroom. We have an antique tub, and I really love it. I just thought it had great character. The potential of this house was phenomenal.
The fireplace right behind me is one of the things that clinched it for me. I love having a wood-burning fireplace. I've had one since I was a child, and I think Sara had one as well, and it brings back memories, and we kind of want to make this like our family space right here.
We basically went through, you know, making sure the house was sound and solid. You know, we had a roof inspection done, we had a termite inspection done. The previous owners did have the house inspected, but we were able to pay for a walkthrough where they would go over the entire report with us as well as walk through the home with us. So in a sense, it was almost like, you know, a second inspection going over everything. At the end of the day, we were told this was a solid house. It was in good shape. It was gonna last for, you know, years to come.
They use words like solid and this is normal and this is good, and exactly like Sara was saying, and just basically reassured us that we were getting into something that was almost, the way they put it, it almost seemed like flawless. But unfortunately, that didn't turn out to be the case.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Sara.
Sara, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Fred.
Fred, pleasure to meet you. This is such a charming neighborhood.
Oh, it's great.
I really like this. Can I come in?
Yeah, come on in, absolutely.
Thank you.
We're cleaning out the air conditioner, which was just filled with leaves and dirt, and cleaning out the backyard a bit. So I was using the hose. My dad was sweeping and cleaning, and the amount of water we were using was not accounted for on the ground. And then we found a pile of bricks, which we thought were just spare bricks for the interlocking brick in the backyard. I moved them and found a hole in the cement, which you could see visibly that the foundation was damaged through this hole.
So we called the inspection company back, and, you know, we told them the situation, and we felt that this was something that they should have found the hole. I mean, it's a hole.
The inspectors basically said, oh, there was something there, so we couldn't see it. It's not our problem.
So the bricks were like this, yes?
They were stacked up. I put that plastic bag just to help a little bit. They obviously can't cut.
Well, it's not going to help a lot because the concrete runs in this direction, and no matter how you look at this, the downspout runs in this direction, down to the weeper. Water is going to go down. I'm surprised you're not flooding in the basement. If they move the bricks, there's a hole here. What do I see in the hole? What is that right there? See the mesh there with that's the lath and the stucco that they put over top of it. At the time, that's how the houses were finished here.
There were vague mentions of we can't see behind concealed this and concealed that. But I mean, this is not like tearing a wall down or even moving a heavy couch or anything. This is just looking and maybe moving a rock.
Since I have the tools, let's actually take a look. Oh dear. Oh, that really goes deep. Okay, that's a lot of water going down somewhere that's not in a drain. Let's go inside.
Okay. Water coming into our house. What does that mean? Does that mean mold? You know, that's a huge concern.
It's wet. That's mold. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, you know what? Anything I break, I'm gonna fix. This is not a home inspection. This is a Holmes inspection. Electrical, duct tape, another 1001 use. Purge valve on a gas meter, electrical. Not allowed in this area. If they move the bricks, there's a hole here. And with my camera showing all kinds of debris and all stuff that's fallen down there, and actually my camera went down pretty deep, where the hell's that water going? That fireplace was immediately questionable.
Yeah.
Not a standard spot for a brick fireplace. It's always on one side and never in the center. I definitely want to see the basement, and I'm kind of hoping that we have continuous structure right down to the basement floor underneath this. Have we used this fireplace?
We actually heard from our neighbors about having issues with her fireplace, and so it kind of did make us nervous.
Well, I'm glad. So normally what we do, and it is in the report, by the way, is to have a fireplace specialist come in and take a look and make sure that it's usable, it's safe before you light a fire. Did you do that?
We have not done that.
Okay, that would have been highly recommended, especially a wood-burning fireplace. This did catch my eye. You had the, I take it you put it in here to stop a draft.
I put it in there to stop the draft, yes.
That wasn't in the report.
No.
Okay, that's an extremely wet rag. So what it's doing is moisture is definitely getting in there, and it's obviously rotted the wood. The trim on the bottom of the sill here is not directed down. If you think about it, the snow's gonna sit on there, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Just like the rain's gonna sit on and absorb that wet. More than likely, it's leaking under there, which has now the possibility of mold in here, and that's just one spot right here. The mold, number one spots, windows, bottom, doors. I see a brand new set of stairs.
Yes.
There's no permit for the stairs on this house. Doesn't mean it's not good, because these are actually very fancy, expensive stairs. But what caught my eye, let's walk that way, was how they tied into the front, where they cut. See the throat that they've taken off here?
Yep.
It's a very tight throat. On the top, because they cut that throat out so much, I'd rather see more against the top. In this case, it's this way. We have less against the top and more on the bottom. So that's a pivot point here that really pushes on the stringers. They did it again on these stringers. Look at this. There's nothing on these stringers that come up, ties into absolutely nothing. It's relying on the top tread to be locked against the platform. Too much weight on those stairs. Let's say these bolts are not good enough, we'll actually collapse these stairs in. Now, I noticed that in the report they say they're not responsible for structural issues or what to look at, but I see this.
This is in plain view.
I'll tell you this. Talk about that window that's directly above here. The point is that we know the moisture will continue to travel down here, and right now I don't really see any signs. Oh, yes, I do.
You could see that the wall was actually starting to crumble away. It was all starting to crack, mainly because of the water damage. The more that, we looked at it, you could touch the wall and you could feel that it was soft. Fred even touched it one time and his hand went right through the wall. It was so soft, and we actually ended up starting to see mold.
That's mold.
I'm actually a cancer survivor, and so when I hear mold, although I'm better now, the fact that there could be mold in our home, the fact that mold could have been a contributor to why I was sick in the first place, it's a concern.
Let's not panic.
Okay, it's just a lot of
I'm not
knowledge.
seeing anything yet that's a big worry for the mold.
Okay, good. That's good news.
Nothing yet. Did you light a fire in this one?
We have.
And?
There wasn't any problems until recently. Our neighbor told us that when we did have a fire in here, she could smell smoke in her house.
That's not a good sign.
No, and that really scared us, so we haven't since
That's
then.
not a good sign since you're joined to each other, and there's 3 houses that are joined. How many houses?
Three, and we're in the middle.
Okay, so that if a fire started, it would burn down all 3 houses, and I'm sure your neighbors wouldn't like you.
This is where Fred noticed the water coming through when he was outside cleaning the house.
On this side here?
Yes.
Yeah, you can see on the bottom of the wood, the bookshelves you
Yeah,
can't
I
really
can
tell.
see it across the floor. I
Across
can
the
see
floor.
buildup.
Yeah, I came in here and I stepped on a puddle of water.
Okay.
We actually took down these ceiling tiles.
Definitely electrical issues. Too many wires in that box. Like way too many. There's 6 there.
That's better than it was, to be honest. I came in this room and we found exposed wires. My dad he knows a little bit about electrical. He's an electrical engineer. And he looked up and he just touched, he's like, I'm gonna touch this and you see what happens basically. And then he touched it and I saw an arc and then the whole floor went black.
You know, one thing's for sure. A lot of electrical's got to be checked in this house.
If they just stuck their finger up there and pushed that tile up, they would have seen those wires just hanging there, sitting there.
I'll leave it there. I'm gonna get my tools. I'm gonna go through this house and I'm gonna show you what I found. That is a veneer brick, isn't it? I see a face brick here, a face brick here. So the only real structure load on this is the floor, and the floor can hold it. These are solid bricks. Just wanted to see if I see a clear run up to the top. The soot build up. Okay, you know what? This fireplace may need to be cleaned. So this is a recommendation. I am gonna bring in my people to take a look at it, and they can tell me what they think. One of the very first things I noticed when I came in the house was the registers on the wall. Let's go down first. Holy cow, that whole thing is actually what? Does that look plugged to you? That looks plugged to me. That's drywall strip from the edge of the 2 pieces of drywall. We have drywall pieces in there. So are we actually getting heat coming out of there? So now I point this upwards. Look at how dirty the ductwork is. It means they haven't been cleaned in quite a long time. Clean the ductwork so we don't have fibers or spores flying through the air that can infect your breathing. Great way to check your flooring is to pull out your floor register. A home inspector's not even supposed to do that. But what do we see? Holy cow. This has got to be 3 inches above the original floor. Here's the original floor height right here. We have the metal lath. We have a definite concrete mix, thin set mix. It appears to be a ceramic tile. And then we have a void. They strapped the floor. All these layers should have been pulled out before they retiled. We'll continue our voyage. I'm not gonna do anything in here. I just know I'm gonna tell Damon to pull this out. Pull this down, pull this out. The glass is a safety issue for me, the mirrors. The reason I want this out is really simple. This is where the water's coming in the corner of the foundation. I wanna see in behind this. That hole tells me there's enough water coming in that could warrant mold issues. They did have mold checked at the bottom down here, and they said it can easily be cleaned with surface mold, but what they didn't check was behind it, and I'm gonna. This is the area where the gas line comes in, and this is the area that opened up to outside. Well, everyone's used it as a run for gas, for electrical, for communications, for water. And it's an area that shows we have water coming in. We want to keep the water out of the house, that's for sure. That wasn't in the report. Look at the junction box hidden in the corner there. See that one right there? Never mind this one that's right in front of us. How about that one that's just slipped right up in the corner? I've seen enough of this place. I need to call Damon. When I first saw this fireplace, my concern was that this was solid brick.
Right.
I mean, look at how well that's done.
Yeah.
And I started knocking on it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can hear it.
And then I went, you know what? That's drywall.
Yeah.
And the hearth at the bottom, although it's not deep enough, is
Yeah.
solid brick. And then the vents that I saw that came off it, it hasn't been inspected.
Okay.
Okay, they light the one in the basement. The neighbor calls over and says, we have smoke, I smell smoke. So, they stopped it right away. So what are we gonna do?
Aim chimney.
We're gonna bring a qualified person to check it.
Yes, we
Okay,
are.
so we're gonna check this one and the one downstairs. So lo and behold, as I'm looking at all this, look at this window. On the outside here, there's the downspout. There's a big hole in the concrete right in the corner there. They covered it up with bricks. We're gonna have to open this area first, and let's see how bad it is. I stuck my camera down, and I could see about 2-3 feet down, easy. But I wanna open this first, right?
So what do you want to do? You want to get down to the footing here? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, let's go as far as he thinks he's gotta go. They have rags in here that stop the cold draft in the winter, right?
Look at that.
So I grabbed the rags, and they are
Soaked.
So what does this tell us?
I'm gonna need a new window, first of all.
Yes.
I'm also gonna have to tear off all the drywall.
Yes. Pull the drywall from approximately here, right down to the basement. Bring that down and continue that drywall cut I want to see there, and open this up here.
Okay.
I stuck my finger in the hole down there, wiped the back of the drywall.
Mold?
It was black. Yeah, it's mold.
Damn.
So gently take it off. Wear your mask and gloves.
Okay.
Let's bag it, but let's document it. I want to see pictures, okay? Here's our second fireplace here. Now, directly above this, you're gonna see in the living room that big bulkhead.
Yeah, I saw it.
That's a really big bulkhead.
Yeah.
It wouldn't hurt to punch a hole in the bulkhead just to do a visual. More than anything, I want to know if it's fire rated from this side to our neighbors, and just do a visual inspection. We can do that personally for ourselves, but we still want our fireplace guys to take a look at this one as well, okay? There was a permit pulled on this in 1958. This area here is where we actually have the hole in the ground, right here, right? And that hole in the ground, it did show some surface mold on the bottom.
Yeah.
So you know what I want you to do?
You want to pull this out?
I want you to pull this out.
I just thought it had great character. The potential of this house was phenomenal.
We have mold in the front of the house, we have mold in the side of the house. The basement has a lot of mold.
Yeah, I guess it is leaking in there. There's no sealant whatsoever of caulking at the glass, none.
I'm gonna need a new window, first of all.
Yes.
I'm also gonna have to tear off all the drywall.
Yes. That hole has been undermined. For whatever reason, somebody has broke this area, poured the concrete running downwards. Silly fools. But I want to open this first, right?
So what do you want to do? You want to get down to the footing here? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, let's go as far as he thinks he's got to go.
I have a fireplace downstairs. Somehow the neighbors think it's leaking into their apartment. They can smell smoke every time they start it. I need to know what's going on. I have Vince from AIM Chimney coming today. So I wanted this opened up right to about there, all the way down to the floor, okay? I have an issue with this window. This window is leaking water like you wouldn't believe. Okay, so what I want is this opened up right to the basement. So also, this is underneath the window, okay? So I want this opened up. I want this opened up right down to the floor. Mike stuck his finger in that hole yesterday. His finger was black, so we know there's mold. I want to know how much and how bad. As soon as you tore that drywall off, you can smell it. You couldn't smell it before. So we're right, there's mold. Okay, come on in here, guys. Now, I'm not gonna bring you all in, but this wall has been leaking. It's been molding, you can smell it. There's a vent back there. We don't know what's going on behind this. I want this whole cabinet out today.
What could possibly go wrong?
Ha! Wasn't me.
That's 7. 7 years of bad luck. What did I do to deserve that?
I could name a few things.
Oh, I'm at 21.
Really? That's...
Mike rightfully wants this down. This is what's been deteriorating from water. We want to know why. We want to know where it's coming in. And we want to get rid of the mold. Look at this. Everything is holding mold down here. There's a lot of moisture down here. It's a bathroom. I don't think there was that much moisture caused by this little bathroom. There's no shower in here. It's got to be coming from other sources. So I want to tear this down, take a look at it.
Holy...
We were wondering where the mold issue was coming from. I think we found it. We have a gaping hole in our foundation wall right here. 125-year-old house we're dealing with here. This old house is built by block on the back end here. And what they do is they use a structural beam. It's a wooden beam that they used to use that runs right through here. I have wood underground right now, which means it's soaked up moisture over the years, which means it's rotted out my structural support. Water was coming right down here. It was like a chute. This concrete was sloped into the house. It's like a chute right into this corner, and the water was going right in. How they didn't get a flood in that basement, I have no idea at this point. So what type of test did you do to figure out the level 1 mold?
What we started off with, and probably the most important part, is a good visual inspection of the area where the water damage occurred.
Yeah.
We took a look there to, and you can clearly see some rot on some of the wood framing. You can clearly see, little bits of mold growth on some of the little pieces of drywall that are left. And to confirm that there was mold growth present, we did a tape lift sample from the material that looked visually moldy. And essentially, we're just taking a piece of clear Scotch tape.
Yeah.
We're pressing that gently against the substrate that we think is moldy.
Yeah.
That gets placed on a piece of wax paper, sent to the lab. The lab lifts that off the wax paper, look at it through a microscope, and they can see what kind of structures are there. And the other thing we did was we ran an air sample. The results from that sample indicated that, you've got fairly high airborne spore concentration down there that are certainly indicative of mold growth or some disturbance during that tear out.
So which means what in terms of cleanup?
Well, I mean, essentially it means, the workers should ideally wear a suit and a respirator while they do the cleanup work.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need a specialized cleaning agent. The important thing is that you get the surface clean. So, detergent and water is going to be a very good thing to clean up all the hard surfaces.
Yeah.
And then cleaning up things like carpet or upholstered items, that sort of thing, with a HEPA filtered vacuum that's going to pick up that construction dust.
Yeah.
That's what's needed there.
Excellent. Just to be safe, we use a spray that not only cleans, but kills the mold as well. But unfortunately, the second air test showed very high levels of mold. I did have Pinch It come in. They did a couple of test holes in the rest of the basement. We have mold in the front of the house. We have mold in the side of the house. The basement has a lot of mold. So we have Alliance in here to do it properly. They're gonna get the whole thing cleaned out. They're gonna take out all the drywall, all the carpet, so that we get a positive air test so we can get in there and actually work. So they're gonna clean the furniture for us, and our guys are gonna remove it.
Oh my God, it's a fold-out bed. Holy crap. Okay. Put your end down. You stop pushing. Down. Up more room. Okay. Gotta go up on its side. Be careful upstairs. No, not gonna go. How did this thing get in here? Let's flip it this way. No? I see it. Yeah, like swing it up like that. Keep going this way? No. There's no way to get it in and then turn it that way? No. Got it?
We started by cleaning the mold by first setting up the enclosure. And we do that just so we can monitor and keep all the dust inside of the area. The Alliance came in today and set up a level 3, which includes a double decon at the front door. First chamber, which is your clean chamber. Your second chamber would be where you bring out the contamination, you get changed. And the third is your actual work area where you'd remove the contaminated substrate, which in this case would be drywall, carpet. Mold can spread from contaminated area to a non-contaminated area. This is why we set up the poly walls and put it under negative air pressure to prevent spread.
After almost 2 weeks of remediation, all the mold is gone, and we have a clean air test from Pinch It Environmental. Now we can move on to the next problem, which is that hole in the foundation. Wow. Oh yeah. Hey, my own personal escape hatch.
we're looking for. Holy.
This is what we tore down. You know, it took us 15, 20 minutes to tear down. It's going to take us days to fix.
All right, I'd like to hear what the engineer says. I'd like to see what everybody puts together on this one.
Okay.
The most important part for this place is this back wall,
Right.
The kind of parallel to the house itself, and then a return wall. These both have retained earth on both sides, and the retained earth and the moisture has just essentially given us that big rotten beam.
Right.
If it doesn't get replaced, it would have continued to rot until the whole thing was gone, like you've seen on the inside.
Right, and what happens then?
What happens if that timber rots out, then this entire side of the house sags, and it could be significant sagging to the point where it's not really inhabitable because things have dropped 6, 8, 10 inches. The other issue with that timber rotting out is that we end up with a foundation wall that has zero support laterally. It's never been designed for that, and suddenly it's retaining all of this earth at the back of this building. So the worst case scenario would be that this foundation wall would end up collapsing into the basement.
So basically you want us to use block, just doing solid block right up to the original structure,
Yeah.
supporting it that way. What I'll do is I'll just do a support wall inside first with jack posts. I'll do a 2x6 header and just bring it right off the jack post, support that side and the bathroom side.
Yeah, we just talked about hopefully doing it in segments, just so that we don't have any part of the wall without kind of lateral
come
support.
down, right?
Yeah.
Sherry, myself, and Kate are putting in the support wall here so that when the bones start digging out outside, we can take some of the weight off the beam, relieve some of the lateral pressure from the dirt outside on the wall, and prevent anything from caving in, and also give us the room to work and support the house while we take out the rotten beam.
This is the pivotal point. This is where we move forward. I can get to this beam, the structural beam. Once I replace this, I can finish this house, what we originally came here for. I can have Collins guys waterproofing the outside once we get the block in. I can actually take this down, start restructuring the walls in here, start drywalling, you know, cleaning this up, insulating. It allows me to go forward on the whole job. Wow. That beam was supposed to support this house. The fact that I could take that out with my hand is nuts. Oh yeah.
We're sistering up these beams here, the old floor joists. Originally, they would have sat on the 7-inch wood beam that has since rotted out, and we're replacing it with the masonry. So we're going to sister them up with some new wood, just to help strengthen the rotted ends here. And then it'll tie that. That'll sit on the new masonry, which is then also holding in the top plate of the original upper 2 stories.
There used to be a block window here that somebody covered up over time. So we're gonna be blocking in this window well all the way up to the top, so the window isn't being in use anyways. And that way when we excavate for our waterproofing, we can have one continuous seal all the way down the wall.
So my issue is I have to fill in the old coal chute window and I have to fill in the window, right? But coal chute has gas lines running. I just need to know whether we can bury these lines, bring them through the concrete. Do we need a sleeve? Do I need to change these connections? I just need an answer on that.
What I'm gonna suggest at this point is we disconnect the gas. I'll get everything taken out. I'll cap the meter off.
Okay, we gotta do what we gotta do. I gotta bring this up to code. So if I'm burying this, we gotta do it properly.
Okay.
So far, just from a
a first glimpse. We've looked at the older chimney manufactured system here, and we've noticed some holes. And you can see here, between the rust and how weak it is, that this system is literally falling apart. Worst case scenario, this chimney could set the house on fire. This chimney system's not much better. This is for the main floor fireplace. When you're looking down, you'll see the roof decking is a little too close, doesn't have the proper 2-inch clearance, as well as there's all kinds of insulation. There's a little bit of weathering, there's possible smoke stains, there's definitely heat scorch. There's hundreds of chimney fires, hundreds of structure fires caused from chimneys, but they're all preventable. Here it comes.
Okay, boys, so you've told me there's nothing we can do to make this work. I can't use a gas insert, I can't bring the wood back unless I rebuild it and bring it back to wood, is that correct?
Yeah, so you don't want to put an insert inside a manufactured fireplace. They're not listed to go that way.
Yeah.
It's not an approved method. This system is too old. They don't make these actual components anymore. The only thing you can do is remove them and put it back new again.
Timber! There's too many things to bring this thing back to code to even make this work again. I mean, it's so much nicer just to, you know, take this down, give them something a little smaller. It'll open up this room, let more light in, and they'll still have a, you know, a nice living room. It'll look good in the winter. I mean, it'll still have a fireplace.
This fireplace it looked really nice when you first walked into the house, but it took up a lot of space in their living room, and it's really fun to bring down.
I now have to expose the neighbor's side and fix it. We're not only waterproofing at this point, I actually have to fix it because I can see the inside of her house as well. I'm a week into the job. I should be moving ahead. I'm still walking backwards. It's freaking me out a little bit.
The last thing they want to do is put in $100,000, $200,000 worth of work in the house that they did not expect.
What we're actually doing here is we're putting a temporary patch on this unit, but we're basically doing the exact same process there, except that'll be just permanently capped off. There's no new chimney coming up through that location. We'll be able to take this off later and then allow for the new pipe, new flashings. So just for the meantime, this will be capped off, you know, against the weather and such.
It's absolutely insane down here. We have electrical, we have plumbers, we have my guys. The only thing we're missing is Gary and the bros, which I don't think they'll fit. This is a 120-year-old home, and this is the problem with dealing with a 120-year-old home that's attached on both sides. With a foundation problem that's wood. I mean, I'm dealing with grade issues in the back. I'm trying to leave one side alone while dealing with our side, which I can't do at this point. I now have to expose the neighbor's side and fix it. We're not only waterproofing at this point, I actually have to fix it because I can see the inside of her house as well. Where am I running my gas to? I have a fireplace going in upstairs that's going to be gas at this point. Where do I run it into? I have the new gas line coming in at this direction here. I have to somehow route it that way. I'm trying to bring a laundry room into this area now. I have no drains. I'm gonna have to jack open the floors at this point. I have no drain by the furnace. The trades are working great with me right now. They're coming up with solutions. We're all trying to think right now, but I'm walking backwards. I'm a week into the job. I should be moving ahead. I'm still walking backwards. It's freaking me out a little bit. Oh my God, this is frustrating.
Damon, I'm assuming this was the AC line, right?
Yep, that's the AC line there.
Okay, did you guys notice the junction box up here?
I do now.
Well, look at this. Not even 2 feet away.
Oh man, you
We have
got
another junction
joking me.
box.
This is an old wire. The water damage has totally decayed this wire. It was sending power down to a plug that was in the hallway there. And just take a look at it. You can see with your own eyes. There's wood here, there's damage here, copper pipes here. Absolutely could start a fire.
I'm taking out the rest of this beam. I gotta go right to the corner of this house, so piece by piece, 4-foot section by 4-foot section. I mean, that's all I can take out. I can't try and take out a 20-foot beam. Right now, I'm just cutting it in sections. I'm gonna knock it out. Is that moving? Yeah. Doesn't feel like it. All right. Holy crap.
This is called non-shrink grout, and what we're doing with this stuff is we're placing it underneath the stringers and on top of the foundation block. And what it does is it carries the load so that our walls is properly supported on top of the foundation. We've wrapped the joist in plastic so that no water is going to get in. This stuff here bonds nice with the plastic and the block, and it dries just like steel.
Well, we're at waterproofing stage, which is great. It means I can backfill this. I can stop worrying about the back of this house. I now have to remove soil. By removing soil, I'm gonna bring down my grade. I cannot have snow and ice built up onto my wood. This is what caused the problem initially. This is why we're here. Foundation issues. I wanted a lower grade, probably maybe 8 inches from the top of this block down. Allows me to finish the outside. Lower grade means no ice and snow buildup that gets into the wood again, rots it, and gets me back here in a year.
It's scary to think that if Mike wasn't here and the crew wasn't here and Damon, then we'd be pretty screwed.
It's completely above and beyond what we even, in our wildest dreams, could have imagined had to be done to this house.
Crap loads of money this is gonna cost. Crap loads.
Crap loads is a lot.
Sarah!
Good to see you again.
Fred?
Hi.
How long have we had you out of this house?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. Where you been staying?
Mom's couch.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that.
No problem.
It's okay.
You want to see the problems?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's go.
I don't know if you want to hear about them, but come on in. Okay, we're just going to show you bit by bit so you don't have a heart attack all at once. Come on over here.
Walking in and seeing the first fireplace completely gone and that space empty, it's a lot to take in.
This isn't so much of a structural issue for the fireplace because it was fake brick. It was all about a fire hazard. Both fireplaces actually decommissioned, taken right out.
Knowing that it was unsafe, after you intake that information, it's better that they took it out completely and are gonna do it properly.
Now, the reason you've been out of this house for 4 weeks is because it started off with a little mold. As we started taking the bathroom out downstairs, got further into mold, we did more tests, the tests were failed. So we continued to take things down till they removed all the mold. There was definitely mold within here. We're gonna have to replace this window. This was all removed all the way down. Let's go downstairs, and we're still doing exploratory, which means you're still gonna be out of the house. This is gonna be a long haul.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
This is what I call a money pit that we all fell into, and there was no money on the bottom. None.
Okay.
We can see that this wall has had issues over the past. This is exactly where our void is out there. This is where we put in a new cinder block. Picking up load, saving the foundation. This was all wood here and completely rotted out. Again, this was behind a wall, but remember, when I first came in, there was a hole in the bottom of the wall. What did I do?
Stuck your finger in there.
I went down, stuck my finger in, and wiped the back of the drywall. And when I pulled my finger out, what was on it?
It was black.
Okay, so right away, I know there's mold. The question is how much mold was here? This fireplace is right now inoperable, has been severed at this point right here, and will continue to sever it all the way up. Now, the main reason about both fireplaces, they were so built up with the creosote on the inside, I'm surprised it didn't burn the house down. But a home inspector coming in to take a look is not able to see all this. He's gonna look at a visual, and he's gonna hopefully tell you, get these fireplaces checked. You know, that's what I'm hoping he says. Did he say that, by the way?
No, I didn't say anything like that.
Okay, that really is a pain. Because that was really important. Get them checked. Now, really, generically, it is in the report, and this is what home inspectors do. They make sure you must read this report. Like, take a look at the report, whether or not it's full of crap or not. Read the report so you try and understand it. If you don't understand it, pick up the phone and go, "Hey, Joe, George, whatever your frickin' name is, explain this to me so I understand this." So you did have a major fire potential with both fireplaces. So I'm glad you didn't use them. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes. We've got it everything to do with the bathroom, right? And this looks, again, this doesn't look that big. But when we opened it, there was wood structure. See this new block here?
Yes.
This is all new block. There was wood structure that came across to the corner here, and I'll show you outside what we had to do. We actually had to dig right down here, and this turned into a catastrophe, to be honest with you. That downspout went into the ground, okay? And I collected all the water from all the rain and rotted out the structure on this side of the house. So we had to bring in our foundation guys, and you'll see it from the outside. Remove the beam, get permits, reinforce all this so we could not lift the house, but hold the house to reinforce the cinder block wall to carry it up. So structurally, this has been a disaster, having everyone in here trying to determine, engineers, what we can do with this. What happened here affected your neighbor. We had to structurally fix your neighbor's side as well. To this point, right up to about here, both houses, there was a problem with them. We had to call them out. Look, we've got problems here. We've got to solve this problem.
We thought it was cosmetic. We didn't know that there was going to be these huge issues that some they may not even found yet.
Well, they told us it was a solid house. The inspector
Yeah, I mean, the inspector actually went so far as to say it's a good house. Not to say that there may even be problems. This is a good house to start in. And that's it's a little annoying at this point.
Thank you.
Okay. You're good? Okay, Damon, he knows how to get down here. Okay, picture this. This was grade right here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Now you can even see just how bad all this is. Yeah, grade was right up, covering the bottom. So all of this had to be restructured. This hole was dug down. Once we came in, now we have problems with the neighbor. We had to fix the neighbor's side. This all started with a hole in the ground that was covered by 2 bricks that the inspector didn't touch.
The amount of work that has been done already and the amount of work that sounds like still has to be done, it's scary. The president of the company came back since we had problems. We said, "You didn't do it right, you missed this hole," and the president came back for a 3rd time. And that's not our issue. As Mike explained it, it's a money pit and there's no money at the bottom of the pit. You know, it's just, we're trying to find that ladder to get out. So it's kind of, you know, but at the same time, to have Mike and Damon here and the crew.
I think what he didn't say was that he's providing that ladder for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all helping us out, and we can't imagine them not being here now.
You're gonna be home. Let's go get a coffee. Please.
Okay.
Or water. Yeah. Or a pop.
Or like a
beer.
glass of wine.
Yeah. All right.
We thought we did everything to protect ourselves in this house, and still the problems, there's just problem after problem after problem, and it's hard. It's hard because it's scary because it's supposed to be our first home. And to see it like this and to see, like, I feel a little bit dumb. Like, I feel like we really got duped on this house, and it's just, yeah, it's just hard.
Let's just say a box, gas insert, it comes up, and then another box.
Now that we're actually seeing movement, seeing progress, it's definitely exciting. It's definitely, you know, a good feeling to know, okay, well, we have the right people on the job. I
want to run a drainage pipe underneath in the center and create a cove that the water comes to and feed it into this.
I'd say that's not connected.
Holy crap, where does that go?
Oh, no! You gotta be joking. Oh, yay.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I found a quarter. This house is paying off.
I'm not your father.
Oh, this suit is driving me freaking nuts.
Yep.
This was the right fireplace to take down, right?
I certainly hope so.